Oh well, that was fine. Okie dokie. Oof, that red bar of signal worries me so much. Hold up, I think I got something in my throat. Much better, much better. Okay, let's watch, let's watch, let's watch. This one is We Are Closer to a Civil War, and it's from the Leaflit Asari pod.
Professors show students how close civil war really is after the Charlie Kirk's murder.
The day after Charlie
Wait,
Kirk
hold
was
up, hold
shot.
up, hold up, hold up. Much better. Kershaw polite. Hey, Fasali, what's up, man?
This professor, Sam Richards, tries to issue a dire warning to his students.
Wait, I feel like I've seen this guy before, right? Why does he look so familiar? I feel like I've seen one of his videos before.
Tries to have a genuine conversation about the real ramifications of what this could mean.
This thing could go south, okay? You know what I mean by that, going south, okay?
The response of some of these students surprised me, and it's worth looking at.
Just go in a slightly different direction.
I have a question.
Of the volume? You know what, guys? You want to see the technology? I have the technology. Wait, where is it? I can now boost the sound of any video.
I didn't even know that technology existed. For the increased volume button to exist, truly humanity has reached the stars, the level of tech.
Yeah.
I just would
Yes,
like
it's
to know
Scorpion, thank you.
what ways he showed that he was changing his mind, or maybe he showed some progression in his thinking.
Think about what she's saying here, because you can't know what the proper progression would be unless you think you have the right way to think.
Because she made
That's
a very
true.
good point. It was prove me wrong, but it was never for the benefit. Like being able to look at someone with an opposing opinion and say,
You know, and the funny thing is you actually have this happen a lot, where you'll have people on the left, they'll say like, they'll say things like, oh, you're already stuck in your beliefs. Like, there's no way I can convince you. You never change your mind on anything. And it's like, just because you don't change your mind on something doesn't mean that you're not open to having your mind changed. It could also mean that the argument hasn't been presented yet that actually shatters your argument, right?
That is actually a very good point. I've seen this, not seen this happen a lot, but it's not uncommon. Where I've seen in numerous debates, well, screaming arguments really most of the time, where people would argue between different political views, different worldviews, different theories, and generally, the more insult really than accusation gets thrown around how about people are kind of stuck in their beliefs and they're just refusing to get along. But really, it's just a case of someone else, as Leaflet said, has yet to be presented with an argument that sufficiently answers their objections to the whole scenario. In a manner that is sound and both logical. And if you, take a step back and look at this, from objective's perspective, a lot of progressive people are even like this too, where if you even had to try and, talk to them, present arguments to them, they would unironically be dead set, should I say, in the way that they think, being unable to or unwilling to budge from what they believe in terms of their political views and their worldviews, etc., etc. Because this can be due to perhaps they just, they only like believing this stuff because it serves them, or because they simply have not been presented with an argument that properly answers or counters their questions and beliefs, worldviews, and political viewpoints, etc., etc. Anyways,
like they just almost seem like it's a matter of fact to them. Like it's an obvious, like they're obviously right. They're obviously right to the point that they don't even have to argue it. That's kind of like how they act.
And it's taken for granted like an axiom, when in fact it's not.
About it, right?
I take no offense. It's not hating on me. It's your opinion. It's your stance. I respect it.
Yeah.
Is something he did rarely.
And then she makes the most common, frustrating, and lazy attacks that, well, he was 31 debating with college students.
And I think even, again, in relation to who he was talking to, he's 31, or correct?
Yeah.
He's in his 30s arguing with college students.
What does that have to do with anything? Like if it's two 12-year-olds arguing, or if it's whether it's like a 90-year-old arguing with someone who's 25, I don't see how age could possibly play a factor in it. What?
Well, the thing is that's also really important, right? Because is this a lost art in college? Because college is all about trying to discover like what you believe, right? Isn't that the point? That's like the point of college, is you go there to try to like you go into the big, you know, mixer of ideas, and you try to like find out which ideas you think are the best that like form you, and then you kind of form your belief system around that, right? And then if you're proven wrong, you're like, okay, you know what, maybe I'm wrong in that case, and then like you change it. That just seems like a matter of fact, right? So it's of course you'd want to like go to colleges and like say like, hey, well, you changed my mind, right? I mean, it just makes sense. It's like that's where you would do it, right? Because then people who don't agree with you, they would be, or don't agree with Charlie, for instance, they had an opportunity to go up and explain why they didn't agree with it, why they didn't agree with him, and then he would have a conversation with him. That was the point of it.
And pushing a
Yep.
fake
Yeah,
prove me wrong narrative. I'm going to listen to you. No, you're
No,
not.
here.
And I think it's at this point that it genuinely gets under Sam's skin, but he's trying not
Wait,
to.
what
At
did
this
she-
point,
what did they
Pushing a
say?
fake
Yeah,
prove me
yeah.
wrong narrative. I'm
It's
going
a fake prove me wrong narrative. Oh, jeez. This reeks of retardation. It's not even funny.
to listen to you. No, you're
No,
not.
here.
and I think it's at this point that it genuinely gets under Sam's skin, but he's trying not to show it.
I'll tell you how I know that he shifted his thinking. Because you cannot be engaged with human beings in the way that he was and the way that I am, day after day after day. You cannot engage at that level and shift the way you see the world. And I listened to the complexity of his arguments over time, and I'm like, yeah, that dude's like, these things are getting to him.
And it seems to really bother some of these students, the fact that, well, he was skeptical about colleges today and the need to go to college.
Charlie was very aggressive with his views. He
The other thing too,
He was the most passive person that I've ever seen on the internet in terms of presenting his views. You wouldn't even know aggressive, even if it bit you right on the tookums.
to be honest, is it does make sense. It makes sense that like if you're constantly PvPing, right? Like you're okay. There's these people like Andrew Wilson, for instance,
I don't know who that is, but okay.
and like Charlie's one of them. Charlie is just like that too, where like they are always PvPing, like they're PvPing all the time, right? The best players in anything, right? They constantly throw themselves in the arena, right? And so you have Charlie Kirk, who's this guy who's PvP'd so much that he's been exposed to so many ideas that every day that he PvPs somebody and faces a new idea, he has to like forge his own ideas, whether that's taking a little bit of that, putting a little bit, you know, deleting some of his own beliefs to make room for something that like he thinks is a better idea. But he's constantly like hammering and honing at like his beliefs. So of course his beliefs, it would be harder for him to change his mind it would be harder for him to change his mind when like he's already had the time to kind of form like a more complex belief that has like a lot more structure to it, right?
Kind of makes sense, yeah. I can see where she's coming from. He's had years to put together his beliefs, to challenge other ones, toss out ones that are weak, put in ones that are strong. So naturally, I think it would flow that he would have a pretty solid foundation where he stands.
It makes sense. It makes sense that the person who has more structured beliefs would change their mind less because they have already reached a high level of I guess you would call it like their beliefs has like higher defense because it's been exposed to so many attacks, right?
He was very, at least I think a lot of the things that I've seen in a lot of the media I ingested from him was anti-college, yet his main source of debate was college campuses. That's a little bit...
Well, yeah, but, okay, hang on.
He was challenging the young minds on college campuses, which are supposed to be the places where we do that.
Yeah.
If I had to take classes over again, I don't know what I would do. I would drop out of college immediately.
Damn.
Because I just would. So he provided a
He
great
said,
service
fuck
in the
this.
college environment. So
He
it's like,
said, I know I work here, but fuck this place.
You get a sense.
Yes, technically speaking, Doom Tiger, that's correct. People put stuff in my Discord for me to react to, and then I just watch it. As simple as that. Plus, Leaflit tends to make some pretty good exposition in the stuff that she consumes as well, which is always neat to engage with.
From his students of whether or not they're
Holy
even
shit.
aware of what is at stake here.
He kind of essentially is assassinated for his ideas, for challenging people.
He is not wrong. Charlie Kirk was assassinated for the stuff that he represented.
And, like, whoa.
This is
Hold up. Same, I would have gone to trade school instead. Unironically, I think that that is probably the best decision you can make, especially as someone entering the college age, like if you're a young person. Or even if, you know, you're like 35, you want to get a higher degree or anything else that's just beyond a 12th grade. I would 100% recommend a trade school, other than these useless college degrees that you end up studying for 7 years and end up jobless because no one wants or needs you. That or your degree just inherently is worthless, like a gender studies degree. It's always better to have a practical trade that you can apply. At least, you know, that's my 2 cents.
deeper and more important than a conversation about guns. This is about something else, but they can't make it about that because in their minds it can't be about free speech.
Well, I think that was a really good segue into this. I think with the combination of possible retaliation and the lack of gun laws, wouldn't gun laws be better if there is a fear of retaliation from the left?
Sam tries to push through this. It's
What?
deep.
Hold on. Listen to that part again.
Possible retaliation and the lack of gun laws, wouldn't gun laws be better if there is a fear of retaliation from the left?
Sam tries to push through this. It's deeper than guns. It's not about that.
I feel like she's completely missing the mark here.
Okay, go beyond guns. Set aside the guns because he could have been killed in any other way.
It's as though it's not registering with some of these students. It's as though they don't see what is actually at stake here.
His death means a
The
lot
funny thing is these people, they say fascist all the time, but that mindset is fascist, like actually, right? Like,
to a lot.
Yep. This actually reminds me of a post that, what was it? Nux Taku made, where he says that, I'm a Jew, and that all of the quote-unquote Nazis treat me better than the leftists do. It makes you really wonder who the real fascists around us are.
A lot of people in a lot
Oh,
of
you
different
can't make
ways,
this up,
but
man.
I'm
This
not
is
sure
crazy.
really what I'm afraid of other than the meaning of it and the
guys, I know how we fix this problem. This is the only way. The only way to fix this is to completely dismantle all of these colleges and all the entire education system and rebuild it.
I agree with Leaflit. Burn it all down as Senator Armstrong would. Completely rebuild it from the ground up. I don't know, about South Africa. I've only ever been to one college, and the degree in theology that I've gotten there is very profound, very excellent, high degree of learning there. So, 10 out of 10 recommend. I wouldn't say which one I went to, but that one was good. But I have heard about a lot of colleges, especially in the West and the US specifically, that are just completely paused. I feel like you guys need to seriously do something about that. It's gone way too far. You guys go to college supposedly to get a higher degree in education, to become educated, to become, critical thinkers, but all the people who go to college end up being retarded millennials that end up destroying culture. That and, well, you also have the boomers pushing for also nonsense as well. I feel like
this is too much.
it is contributed to the downfall of America, pretty much.
symbolism behind his death not being understood and utilized.
So you're not really afraid in the way that some people. How about you?
No, I am still afraid. I am still afraid of things going south because things
I think things are definitely going to go south after this.
can go south.
Not the violence, not the potential for this to spiral, not civil war. No, it's Charlie Kirk's ideas living on.
Do you have?
Man, that's crazy. I could see.
What? It's because they think they're the majority. They think there's more people that think like them. That think if we go to civil war, they would win. Yep.
Civil war, but I hope not. I hope not too. I really don't want it. I really don't.
Is my tracking... Oh, no, it died again. Oh, thanks, Malto. Hold up. Man, I'm pretty sure it's because my USB ports are damaged. Give me a sec. I'll just reboot it. Excusez-moi. Hello. Hey, what's up, man? Give me a sec. Busy rebooting. Okay, it should be working now. Hello. There we go. It's back. Nice. Bless you, thanks. Oh, jeez, there must be a whole lot of BS coming from this college.
I think the ideal situation is we figure out like what's going on with it, like who's doing all. We gotta hold people accountable. I'm just being real.
Hold up. Leftism is a belief system for people who think they are smart. Very interesting way to phrase that. Hold up. Nice nose blowing there. Well, the tutor has been cleared.
Like teachers that are like teaching people that violence is okay if it's against people that like you don't agree with, that kind of a thing. Like teachers that are just like on main saying that like, oh, it's like great that people die. Like they need real content.
You guys seriously need to start throwing those people in asylums or jail, or both. Asylum, jail.
Like they need to never be teachers again. I'm just being real, right? Like if a teacher like openly says that to like their students and they're teaching, they're the ones that are like kind of instilling like their beliefs onto the next generation.
You ignored a whole word? Leftism is a belief system for dumb people who think they are smart. How did I ignore a word? I read the whole thing.
They just shouldn't be teachers. They should be perma-banned. I think this is fair, just, and reasonable. It's completely logical to just like completely just perma-ban these people. Like you want to talk about class sizes? I'd rather have double the class sizes than have like a teacher teaching kids that like that it's okay to laugh when people die. I'd rather have double, triple.
Oh, you didn't say dumb? Oh, my bad. Yeah, sorry. Leftism dumb.
Quadruple the class sizes and have to like deal with that. Just being real. I think the damage would be less.
I think another fear is maybe someone taking it upon themselves to handle his unfinished business.
Wait, what? She's scared about someone else carrying on Charlie Kirk's idea? Is this person retarded? Like, can you only see like 2 feet in front of you? What? What a moron. Like, this is so much bigger than just what he's talking about or representing. This is far bigger than that. What? I feel like colleges in America just make you dumber.
Because I'm sure a lot of people that supported Charlie Kirk feel like, oh, he's gone too soon, he wasn't done, like the things he was pushing, you know, he was making change. Other people may feel the need to echo him or carry on the rhetoric he was pushing, and I don't think that's beneficial at all.
I still haven't had a single person be able to convince me that like what Charlie Kirk is saying is problematic. Like, and the thing is like the man said
It goes, everybody who tries is all pretty retarded.
a lot of things because you know he's been kind of in the public for such a long time. He's been doing these things for such a long time. People haven't been able to send me any. The ones that people always send me are always out of context, and we'll watch a video on that later. But a lot of the stuff like are completely taken out of context. That the things that they don't like that he said are not even taken. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to say it. They're not even taken in the right context. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, the reason I'm always so careful when I talk and when I say something, I always preface it, right? You know how you guys always hear me say, obviously I don't mean physical violence. Obviously I don't mean we should like, you know, I don't endorse any violence. And I always say this, and I know it's tiring. Like it's really fucking tiring. It's like, Leaflit, like we know that already, right? I know you guys do, but the people are retarded. So
I agree.
I have to like say it again before so that people aren't gonna clip me out of context and be like, oh yeah, see, Leaflit said we should kill people, right? Because they're
I try to do that. I don't remember all the time, but it's probably a habit that I should take up from Leaflit. You know, always preface and put in some brackets and T's and C's and everything that I say, especially mentioning certain unmentionables. Amalto, Dune Tiger, salute, hello Fox, hey man, Kazadayo, how you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing awesome.
they're 100% gonna do it. We should kill people. So
Nice editor moment.
that's why I have to like say, I have to like be careful what I say. I have to say things like that because that's what's gonna happen, right? Yeah. They do it already, yes, but the thing is I don't really care about the super crazy people. I care about the more reasonable people that like might take that out of that might understand that incorrectly, correct? That's what I care about. I care about like the more modern, those people.
We should? Yeah, definitely. I think at one day, me just blabbering out things and noticing especially is gonna get me in trouble, so I always need to put some brackets for context there.
People are, do the people that have like been fully possessed and are like full demon already, like there's nothing, like I don't care really. I don't. I'm not trying to convince those people.
Make no mistake, this is not
I say we should put those people in the loony bin.
about what Charlie Kirk's ideas were, which is what many of these students are trying to make it about. This is about the ability to have dialogue.
His whole thing.
Exactly what I was saying before, like, they think only like, one step in front of them. They're trying to make this whole thing about Charlie Kirk and his views, someone else carrying on his views, their view is problematic, even though they're all retards. But anyways, but the real the real point of the issue is he it's not that, people disagree with Charlie Kirk or that people don't like what he's saying or pushing for. It's that there isn't a platform for us to engage in dialogue between ideas and, philosophies without someone getting shot, It's not just, one political or even theological or moral idea over the other. It's the ability to actually discuss these ideas in a, safe environment, but now people are getting killed for it, but these morons don't realize that. I'll lurk here, want to take a bath and soak myself, return to the city, and as it stands out, we'll go outside country again on Monday. Sag? Oh, man. Well, you enjoy that long, hot, soaking bath, my dude.
Thing was proven
Thank you so much for
wrong,
lurking.
and I think that's the basis of debate. But I find the issue is, and I think the reason why he rubbed so many people the wrong way was that he acted almost as if he never really had the intention to be proved wrong.
And some students are playing the
They haven't really watched much Charlie Kirk because
No, they're all retards. Thanks for the lurk, man. Appreciate it.
there's been a lot of cases in Charlie Kirk videos where he does say like, oh, you have a good point there. He said that a lot of times actually.
same game, trying to paint the picture as though Charlie Kirk was genuinely harmful, and they're digging deep here for it.
Yeah.
The student claims, well, he was too confident in what he has thought through.
You can say as much like, "Oh, I'm really open-minded and I want to have my opinion changed."
The problem
Connection
is
successful? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, that was just a random hiccup, it seems. Some very unstable internet gay happening over here, boys. Just bear with me. Bear with me. Alright, let's carry on.
that's how we discover like that's how we find out like what's the best solution is you have idea versus idea, you pit it against each other, you PvP it, right?
And you know what's the interesting part? Is that these people had a compete in a free marketplace of ideas. They would find themselves quickly out-logicked and find their belief system to be pretty unfavorable among a society that, is pretty open about putting forth ideas to compete against each other. And it's not just this, by the way. There are a lot of cases that I can point out, and some I probably shouldn't, at least not on Twitch, where there have been certain ideas or thought structures that have been made illegal to even have or engage in or even question.
And then you hash out like, okay, like maybe some things that they said is good, and like maybe I'll add that to like my belief, right? So like,
Yeah, by the way, ever heard of the expression broken clock is right twice a day? Even if a liar spoke the truth, you should believe him, and that's how I see it. Even if someone who I think is, I don't know, some woke liberal moron comes to me and they present, their 50-point thesis on why they believe what they believe, I can toss out, all 49, but if there's one that it sticks in there that actually makes a pretty solid argument, I'll definitely consider that and even incorporate it into my own worldview because, it's sound and logical, even if everything else they say is completely crazy. The best lies have a sprinkle of truth in them,
thing is like a lot of these people have mass produced like stamped out beliefs where it's like basically beliefs that were bestowed upon them, like again like
it's either the beliefs that were bestowed upon them or they basically exported their ability to think and come up with real views themselves onto someone else.
like stamp cut, right? Whereas like people who PvP, and again, I don't even mean like, I'm not even talking about just right wing, like conservative people, right? You have people, there's also people that are like more liberal that are the same way, where they have PvP'd their beliefs so hard that like they kind of understand a little bit better like what they believe in. And it's like, that's a good thing. That's what you should do, right?
I agree. If you cannot give a reason, a sound one, for why you believe what you believe in, well then I think you should question why you have that belief in the first place. You should not make a decision or believe any belief that you cannot justify.
Right? And that's why you have a lot of these people who get fucking mad. They'll get into like an argument with somebody and they'll just fold. They'll fold immediately, and then they start and they have nowhere to go. But you're a fascist. You're a Nazi. You're.
Yep, they lose all sense of being able. Oh wow, did it fix itself? Nice. I just went to the bathroom and came back and the signal's fine. Nice. Sorry boys, the signal's very wonky today. Let's just continue, I guess.
Really genuine. You know, you're not, you know, can I tell you a story though? Charlie, as somebody who's been around a long time, I will guarantee that he changed a lot of his ideas as a result of a lot of these debates.
Yep.
And yet, this student goes right back to.
That's why I love debate. I love debating, and like it's like I said, like I love talking to my friends. Like I have like my one IRR friend. That's our pastime. Coffee shop and debate, and it's really fun because it gets you to like, well, I didn't think about it that way, or like, you know.
Is it just me, or was whenever you debate with people generally right to the political aisle, they're okay, but the moment you go to someone on the far left, they're like have a screaming meltdown the moment you try and challenge their belief systems. I'm noticing, you know, a very interesting dichotomy between the two types of people you can debate here.
Oh, and this is why like you have those crazy hypotheticals, because the crazy hypotheticals is like the arena in which it's like the means of which that you actually like test your beliefs truly, like, to their maximum, right? It's fun. I find it to be really enjoyable.
Attacking his ideas. Well, I don't agree with what he was saying. It's like, what's your point? Therefore, what? Just truly think about the subtext here.
Just go in a slightly different direction.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I just would like to know in what ways he showed that he was changing his mind, or maybe he showed some progression in his thinking.
Sam asked a really good question here. He asked, can you acknowledge that you agree with him on something, anything?
There are many things that Charlie said that you would agree with.
That I would agree with?
For sure.
No.
Well, listen to what I said
Did you even listen to everything he ever said? How could you say no?
earlier. He said the guy was talking every single day, just like me. I have thousands hours of video. He has probably 100,000 hours of video. Mm-hmm. There are things that he said that I will guarantee you would say, oh yeah, a lot of things that he said that you'd be like, yeah, that's actually a really good point, and that's a smart point, and that's good, it's bad, you know.
This is a good way to test to see if someone is coming from a conversation in an honest way.
Oh, I'm sure, but with the context and with just everything altogether, Charlie Kirk as a whole, I know I do not agree with. He could say and have, you know, some clear points that are factually true or statistically true or morally true.
Who was this teacher? I've never heard of him before.
Seems like a nice guy.
Does this guy do this kind of thing a lot? He does? This guy's kind of a legendary teacher, dude. Yeah.
In rare cases, but that doesn't mean I agree with him and everything that he did. I wouldn't even say I agree with him.
It's not everything. It's some things, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Sure.
Some students do seem to recognize how this is spiraling.
You know, people laugh about this. Like, I've seen it on TikTok now. Like, people are
Oh, guys, we gotta shut down TikTok. It's destroyed brains. We have to stop the brain rot here, boys.
laughing that, you know, an influential person in our world that made us question our beliefs, just like you do yourself. You know, it's not funny. No one should die.
Because Sam recognizes that this really could lead to a conflict that would resemble a civil war.
Yeah, because like once you take it to violence, right? And violence becomes that's acceptable.
What was that song from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance? Violence. Those games were always a documentary.
And what happens when the other side gives up and they say, okay, you know what? Violence acceptable? Okay, then. Me too. Right? Where is that? Is that really where you want things to go? It makes so much, if you just think about it for more than 5 seconds, the logical conclusion is is combat. Because at some point, that is the only way to solve the issue, right? Debate.
Remember, chat. Violence is never the question, it's the answer. Wait, no. Violence is not the answer, it's the question, the answer is always yes. There we go.
And discussion is a way to not have it become physical combat. And that's why it's so important. And when you kill the guy that is trying to discuss things in the arena of words, and you kill him using physical force, you are turning the clock a little bit ahead in terms of an actual physical conflict.
Leaflit is right, by the way. If you're gathered together in the arena of words, as she puts it, when you're busy discussing and debating different sides of an issue or issues, multiple issues, that is ideally where you want to sort out problems, by debating and discussing ideas to figure out who is wrong and, go from there. To figure out, who's right, etc., etc. And even at the end of the day, if you cannot come to a disagreement, you can leave it there or just come back to it at another time. The moment you bring out a gun, you shoot the guy in the head, well, everybody else who agrees with him is going to say, well, if you won't listen to us, and instead you're going to kill the guy who's pretty moderate at that, who's representing our ideas, well, then you're probably going to do the exact same to the rest of us. So if you're just going to kill us for putting forth our ideas, why should we tolerate you putting forth your ideas? And instead they're going to start bringing guns to the table instead of words. And the ultimate, ending of that, the ultimate conclusion to that is going to be more violence until one side comes out victorious.
Right.
When do you think about us spiraling into some kind of civil war? Like really, like the violence just grows and grows and grows. And are you afraid? Do you have any fear of that? Like y'all are young.
And some of the students do seem wise and seem to recognize what is going on here.
I'm afraid of the fact that in past terrorism results, our nation has come together, and this has separated us even more. And I
She brings up a good point.
think that's really terrifying.
Yep.
Wait, can you say that? First off, what's your name?
My name's Natalie.
Natalie?
Yeah.
The one smart person in this college hall.
Can you say that again?
Sam shows them point blank how quickly these things can spiral out. We've not seen anything like this in our lifetimes.
Okay, but now go to Civil War level.
But yeah, that's what I was going to get to. We've caught.
But they pivot back to guns.
If you're giving people a choice to own a gun,
Oh, jeez. Why are you people so dumb? You're making everything about guns. It's not about guns.
Okay.
then
All right. So listen, it's not that I don't want to touch guns, because I'm happy to touch guns, right? But I want to go beyond that. We're beyond guns right now, y'all, right?
He just gets fed up with the gun control conversation.
Here. Thanks for that. I really have to go in a different... Can I just switch? I don't want to talk about guns anymore. Were you going to talk about guns? Yeah, I don't... Yeah, okay, hang on. We'll come back to guns on a different day, all right? I know, I want to... Out of
Yeah, there's more important things to talk about than guns.
respect... Wait, were you going to talk about guns? What are you going to talk about?
I'm trying to be patient because these are college students and this is important, and I'm glad they're having this conversation. And it's not about this individual student, so don't take it personal. If the student sees this, don't take it personally. I would just encourage you to reflect.
What are you most afraid of?
I think I'm most afraid that America won't.
I just realized it's a reaction to a reaction of a reaction. Some cooks. Yeah, that's pretty much normal in the VTubing sphere. Someone will react to someone reacting to someone reacting, and then that person who got reacted to will react to that person reacting to that person reacting. You get where this is going. Infinite content farm. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Utilize Charlie Kirk's death in the correct way.
Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
How does one utilize someone's death in the correct way, Layla? Why don't you explain to the class?
Nothing will really be gained from it, and it'll take too long to put the pieces together of
What does she mean by gain from it? What does one gain from the death of Charlie Kirk?
significance, meaning like What was he talking about when he died?
What was he talking about when he died? That's what's important.
Who killed him? Was it a civilian or was it planned? Was it...
I feel like these are all just complete nothing burger questions.
You know, the date, the location, things like that. It's going to take a little bit too long to dive into those things, which prolong the process.
The important thing, all of those are just details to the important thing. The important thing is that a man died for peaceful discussion. That's the important part. That is the whole thing, really.
Yep.
Process of gun control.
Needless
and things
details.
like that.
It's just sometimes watching college students, it's frustrating.
Because it doesn't matter. The gun part doesn't matter. Gun, knife, bare hands, rock, bomb, car, like...
Nuclear bomb even. It's just completely useless details. Completely missing the bigger picture here.
It doesn't matter. Like, all of that doesn't... Like, that part doesn't matter.
But this does... but that's what happens when you watch how the sausage...
It doesn't matter who killed him. I knew everything I needed on the reactions. Good point, Vasali. Good point. I mean, can you imagine if, like, I don't know, someone stabbed the president of, I don't know, whatever nation, maybe Uganda, and then people started arguing over whether it was a switch knife or a long sword, and then they need to draw conclusions from that detail. It was complete nonsense, man. People discussing this as left versus right, just trying to make something out of nothing. Well, I wouldn't say that this is a nothing burger, so to speak. I think this definitely has far-reaching ramifications, but I don't think that the scope of this is limited to this left versus right. If I had to, you know, take a guess at this, I would say that the left versus right, you know, paradigm that's currently going on is basically just two sides of the same controlled opposition coin. I'll lay it out right for you now. I think it's people like to think, you know, that everyone's divided into left and right. It's much more, I think, along the lines of that this is a political, you know, bipartisan issues and culture and political war that is essentially manufactured by the political elite to get our eyes off of the elite screwing us over. That's my 2 cents. That's my tinfoil hat theory. It's much deeper than that, and we will probably never know the truth. I agree with you, Dune Tiger. I think that this... Now, it's not nothing, okay? But it's definitely far deeper than what the surface level is. Akemi Kura is rating the party 24. Wait, I actually know this person. Akemi Kura, I have DM'd her before. That's interesting. Nice to see that she was actually in a video before.
Messages made, kind of. It's this undertone of, yeah, it's tragic, but he was too confident. He wasn't genuine. He did not show enough progression based upon what she judges as the right way to think.
She said someone could take his like rhetoric and push it further.
Yeah.
Where I think we're looking at like, oh, he had so many supporters, but he didn't talk to his supporters. He talked to people that went against him and shared everybody's beliefs, which
that is correct.
If you're sharing your beliefs and having civil conversations like that, it prevents violence and it prevents getting shot.
See, and that's why chat. That's why I argue with people in the chat, right? Even when somebody says something like I think is kind of stupid in chat, or when you see me argue like with Tazuto, for instance, right? The reason I argue with those people is because the people that don't. I want to engage with people that don't believe what I do, right?
Maybe I should take some leafs out of Leaflit's notebook. I just call people who disagree with me retards. Maybe I should engage with them more. So, but usually, you know, people who disagree tend to be, you know, complete morons set in their ways. But sometimes you can find a person who genuinely would like to discuss and engage, you know. Maybe I need to look out for those guys.
Because I know a lot of you guys are gonna get it. Like, you guys are already like, you know, you already understand. But there's gonna be people that are on the fence. Oh, I don't know, man. You know, I'm just kind of listening. I don't really know like what I believe in this case. Like maybe like even if you do believe, even if you are a believer in like, you know, like more conservative things, but even if you are, maybe you don't know why. Maybe like it's an instinctual thing. It's like in your gut, you realize on some moral level, whether that's
Yep, boys. The law has been written on the heart.
religious or just a gut feeling.
Most people
even,
incapable of believing in something? Yes, that is pretty much why everyone who devolves into those type of things, I just ignore them, we just call them dumb. Most people you meet nowadays are completely incapable of holding not just political discussions, but a lot of touchy discussions in general, whether it's philosophical, religious, moral. A lot of them just don't like it.
you understand, but you don't know why.
Yeah, it
And
could
that's
come from both
why
sides
I
of the
argue
political
with
aisle as
people.
well.
And so you can understand the why. It's so you can understand like what's going on. It's so you can kind of have better. You can kind of understand your beliefs more. And that's the reason I argue with these people. Is for the people that are like kind of more in the middle. Right, I know I'm not gonna convince Tazato. I know I'm not gonna convince like another crazy person in chat. Like a person that comes in and is just like, you know, they just come in like they're just like kind of, you know.
Oh, she has been more patient with Tazuto than like 99% of the population. I agree. Most people they do not have patience for those who disagree with them.
I know I'm not gonna convince them. Me arguing with them is I'm not there to convince them. That's not what it's for.
Liked. Alright, GG's boys, GG's. Made some good points there. So what do you guys think? We're heading for civil war or not? Or do you think it's all a sham?